well. So how do you prioritize, firstly, in terms of what partners are relevant for, let's say, the next year or 3 years? And once you've prioritized, what is the measurement and how do you what process is it that you follow? Because there are many large players, no names mentioned, but many RPOs as well who are trying to do this at the same time. So what's your advice in terms of how to prioritize and how do you measure?
It's a great one, because what we're not trying to be is the Argos catalogue, right? So we're not trying to do, in my opinion, and you'll get different stats from different people, but I think in the talent acquisition space, there's probably about 450 products. If you look at across the whole employee lifecycle, you're probably looking at over 2,000, and that's growing every single year. In terms of, we're not trying to do everything. We've got 100 in the hive at the moment, and we're constantly reviewing that. So we're constantly looking at it, but it's based on those 3 pillars, which is client demand, market demand, and how disrupting are they in their talent category. We try to make sure that we have at least 3 providers in every category. So a category could be brand and experience, candidate engagement, sifting technology, CRM, gamification, video interviewing. Whatever that category is, we have at least 3 that are in there. In terms of the vetting process, what do we look for? We've got our own criteria. So number 1 is experience. So experience is around how do we personalize content for that individual user? Are they a senior stakeholder? Are they in a call center? Are they a graduate? What type of experience do you want that persona to go through? That's linked to content. So with that experience, how do we provide the content that's relevant for those individuals? And then that links to features. So that experience layer, and that's a huge topic. Everyone, the buzzword now is all around, especially around LMSs, is that experience layer, system of engagement and experience, and how do you provide? So it can be done in lots of different ways, but how the system can provide those personalized experiences is one. Number 2, speed to value. So this is a classic one where we've gone from the old traditional ones, which has taken months and years to deploy, to days for some of these technologies, but obviously with a caveat of be careful when they say days, what that actually comes with, the assumptions. But we're now in a point where we look at technology about how quickly can we get this up and running. So classic chatbots. One chatbot you might look at might take months to get up and running due to complexities of integration, learning, and so on. Actually, there might be some smaller players in the market which, don't do everything, but actually the speed to value for a particular challenge the client has, that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for the cake and the icing on top and everything. They're actually looking at, look, I've got a critical problem. I need to solve this problem. I need a tool to do it. It doesn't have to do all these other 17 things that I don't need it to do. And I know it doesn't, so I might have to swap this out at some point. But actually, my problem today is X. So it's thinking about the speed to value and also the agility going forward. So once it's up and running, how can I have ownership to go and update it and change it? The other ones, I won't go into the details, but the other ones is productivity. So we've seen Josh talk around systems of engagement, systems of record, systems of engagement, systems of productivity. So actually, are we plugging it in just to plug it in because it looks nice? Or are we actually there coming back to their outcomes, a productivity play? The last 3 are data and insight. So are we creating data, how much, how are we using it, when? Integration, so data flow, and then into the UI itself. Have they got pre-built connectors? Because the classic answer, I guarantee now, any client, any organisation that's watching this will go, every time they have a tech vendor come in, they talk about integration. They go, don't worry, we've got standard APIs. Do not worry, it's going to be easy. And it's a classic mistake out of every single time, because credibility is then lost in that. Because we all know integrations have got easier, but not everyone's on the same level. So you might have a great vendor here which say, I've got a brilliant API, and the tech they need to integrate with isn't as advanced. So, and the last one is risk. So risk in terms of, we do our own vetting in terms of technology assessment, pen testing, hosting locations, GDPR compliant. There's some sifting tools out in the market that are massive in the US, haven't ticked the box of GDPR compliant. So when we look at those 100, we might say, well, these are for China, these are for the US, these are global. So that's really the criteria: experience, productivity, integration, risk, speed to value. Those are the
Yeah.
things we look for.